Hello everyone. Today we will learn about bystander intervention. Intervention. Many times you are in a situation where you are a bystander and an incident of sexual violence is happening or about to happen. So, what would you do? What would you want a bystander to do if you were a victim? Let's have a look. So, millions of people around the world fall victim to sexual violence. Many of these incidents may have been prevented if bystanders intervened. So, do you know, in schools and colleges in the United States of America, a bystander intervention training course was implemented, where students were taught what to do if they suspect that a person might fall victim to sexual violence. In the coming years, the number of cases of sexual violence fell by a large number, almost 17%. So, bystanders can make a huge difference to what might happen to potential victims. Here is the overview of bystander intervention. We'll discuss all of them one by one. Now, would you also want to learn a few strategies in order to intervene in a potential incident of sexual violence and help another person? Yes, if you do not help, and if the community does not help, then how will we accept help when you will be in trouble? So, stand, speak, and act. Have you ever encountered a situation when you worried someone might get harmed, but you were not sure how to help or if it was your place? An active bystander is someone who recognizes potentially harmful or unacceptable behavior and takes steps to make a difference or intervene in a way that is safe for them. This workshop will allow participants to learn key definitions and understand the social context that perpetuates sexual violence. It will explore what an active bystander is, how to identify potentially harmful situations, and how to act. Learn the different ways you can be an active bystander. So, let's have a look.
Bystander intervention. Bystander intervention is for just these kinds of times when you see something, hear something, or experience something that isn't quite cool. Let's break it down. A bystander is you. You're the person who is witnessing that very uncool thing. Intervention means that you're going to step up and be the friend or coworker or peer who is going to say something about it. Now, this is often the place where people start to feel kind of, uncomfortable about confronting that uncomfortable thing. Is it really my responsibility? Will I seem pushy or rude? Will they get mad at me? And as scary as that might seem, you've probably already participated in bystander intervention before. Like that one time you went out for some drinks with friends. Good old Jim had a few too many that night. Jim is a great guy, but he just overdid it. So when Jim was getting ready to leave and grabbed his keys, you might have said something like, "Hey dude, do you need a ride home?" Or, "Jim, buddy, can I call you a cab?" So yeah, that was bystander intervention. You care enough about Jim to make sure he gets home safely, but you also care enough about the other people on the road that you don't want to see them get hurt either. Bystander intervention.
So, what is the most important thing to remember about bystander intervention? The most important thing is, as a bystander, you should not put yourself in danger. Then you will not be able to help any further. So, your role as a bystander can be described as the fundamental ABC, where A is the assess the situation, be with others, and care for victim. What is assess the situation? It is important that you stay calm and clear in your head. Even in the face of emergency, you should not assess the situation and take action. Each incident will have its own characteristics and dangers. You should always remember to protect yourself. At the same time, you should try to help the victim even if it cannot be immediate protection. Your action can be described as 3 Ds, which refers direct, delegate, and distract. A direct approach is you are directly helping the victim. For example, if you know that person is harassed on the way back home from school, you may want to accompany the person till their home so that they are not alone. Delegating might involve asking someone else, such as a friend who better knows the people involved and might be more trusted, to intervene in potentially abusive situation. And distracting could mean something as simple as butting into a conversation when someone appears uncomfortable and trapped. There are many other actions, including telling a teacher when you notice your friends look frightened or seems to be physically hurt. This also includes speaking calmly but firmly with your friends if they say something that feeds into rape culture, like someone deserves to be raped. So, note down the 3 Ds: distract, delegate, direct. Be with others. It is always good to gather other people to help you with the intervention. If you outnumber the perpetrators and if everyone tries to stop the situation, then there is a high chance that the perpetrators will stop and escape. Care for the victim. This is the utmost importance. The victim will be scared mentally and physically hurt. The victim needs medical attention, possibly help from the police or the local NGO or crisis center. Many times, your verbal support and lending ear is very good for victims' morale. Another way in which you can care for potential victims as well as break the rape culture is to stop a person from speaking in favor of sexual violence, even if it is in jest. Thinking that there are circumstances where a person deserves to be subjected to sexual violence is wrong. So, 3 Ds are direct, distract, and delegate. So, we review what you want anyone to wish that you were extremely hurt mentally and physically, just like a victim of sexual violence is. Let us pause and think about it. Now the question is, how would you talk to a person to dissuade the person from talking rashly about sexual violence? Some possible ways are: point out that sexual violence is crime in India. Ask the person whether he or she would wish an equivalent from a physical and mental trauma on themselves. Would they want such a thing to happen to a near and dear one of theirs? Under no circumstances does a person deserve to be sexually violated. Next question, what does ABC stands for? Try to answer. What do the three D's stands for?